So we are at the confluence of the Missouri and Mississippi rivers on the Illinois side of the St. Louis metro area. This is in close proximity to the Lewis and Clark Museum, Camp Robert Dubois. There's also a Lewis and Clark tower that at the time of this video is closed for renovations, but it's also in this area. It's off of Highway 3 north of 270 in kind of in the Wood River south of Alton area. So there's three major ways that you can see the confluence of the Missouri and Mississippi rivers. One of them is the Confluence State Park, which is in West Alton on the Missouri side. You can't see it real well from here, but it's kind of off in this direction. The second way is Columbia Bottom Conservation Area, which is kind of over here. That's on the Missouri side as well. That part in 2019 was heavily damaged by flooding, and so you kind of used to have to kind of bushwhack through to get to it. Now there is basically a pathway, but you have to walk about a mile from the nearest parking spot in Columbia Bottom. So you've got the Ted and Pat Jones Columbia Conservation or Confluence Point. You've got Columbia Bottom, and then you have this spot right here on the Illinois side. And this spot, what you have to do is you have to park at a parking lot and walk, I don't know, maybe half a mile, 3/4 of a mile.
Probably half a mile.
Probably half a mile on a paved area. It's closed off to car traffic, even though it's paved like it could handle car traffic. And then you walk down this paved area. We had to come down this sort of rocky little descent here. It's marked as a water trail. You have to pick our way down carefully. And the leaves have fallen at this point in the season, so it's a little better. But like during the summertime, if you were up here, you're probably not going to have much of a view of the confluence on account of the foliage. So we found that, you know, even in the wintertime, coming down here affords a much better view. And if you're one of those kind of like fans who really wants to see the Mississippi and Missouri where they kind of converge. Of course, there's a history here with Lewis and Clark setting out on their famous expedition from the early 1800s. You know, there's a few places to do it. Having been to all three of them now, I would say this one's not my favorite. I mean, it's actually really easy to get to as far as drives. Like, there's not a lot of traffic. And unlike, say, the Confluence Point in West Alton, which is the one that's maybe the best view, you have to drive quite a distance on some gravel roads to get there. Columbia Bottom, you actually have to drive some distance. So in terms of like drivability, this is a really easy one to get to. The walkability is okay. You do want to be reasonably fit if you're picking your way through rocks. But the view is probably the least inspiring of the three because it's a little ways off. Like, you know, you can kind of see maybe in the video a little bit, that is the Missouri and the Mississippi junction right there. And it's kind of on the other side of this river. So, you know, what you're dealing with is maybe not as good of a view of where the two rivers merge. So if I was looking to really see this, I'm probably going to go, I would say Confluence State Park is my first choice, even though it's kind of in the middle of nowhere and it's a bit of a drive. I would say Columbia Bottom is my second. This one is my third, but it does have the virtue of not being a difficult drive. So if you're strapped for time and you want to take a peek at the confluence, this one would be potentially worth a visit.
And the Lewis and Clark Museum is very close to this spot.
It
so
is.
if you wanted to pair those two together,
and it's worth mentioning as an aside,
it's a nice museum.
It is a nice museum. It's got like a full-size replica boat inside of it.
A keel boat.
And it's really cool to look at as well. You may hear on the video, you can hear some work going on. There is some industry in this area.
Crane over
there. So I mean, maybe you don't feel as much connected with nature. On the other confluence point, you'll see barges going up and down the river too. So you've got that as well. So yeah, there is a little bit of the history. That's actually a really important point. And
I think the museum is well worth visiting.
The museum is well worth visiting. And while you're at the museum, you can
come over here.
Yeah, just drive down a little short ways, park in a gravel parking lot, and walk your way over to here. It's not too bad. So that's it. This is the view of the Confluence as seen from the kind of Lewis and Clark Trail Road near Camp River Du Bois at the Lewis and Clark Museum in Illinois.